You wake up every morning and check your bank account, your investments, your net worth. You feel a small surge of pride when the numbers go up and a quiet anxiety when they don't. But here's what you'll never admit out loud. Despite all your financial planning, all your hard work, all your clever strategies, you still feel like you're running on a treadmill that leads nowhere. You're accumulating, but you're not prospering. You're earning, but you're not truly wealthy. I am Solomon, and I once possessed more gold than entire kingdoms. I built palaces that made emperors weep with envy. Yet I discovered something that will shatter everything you think you know about wealth. The richest man who ever lived was also the most miserable, until he learned what real prosperity actually means. You see, there's a difference between having money and being wealthy. There's a difference between financial success and true abundance. Most people spend their entire lives chasing the wrong treasure, becoming prisoners of their own bank accounts, slaves to numbers that promise freedom but deliver only bigger cages. Today, I'm going to share with you the 7 laws that transformed me from a man who simply possessed wealth into someone who understood it, mastered it, and made it serve a purpose greater than himself. These aren't strategies or tips or life hacks. These are the fundamental principles that separate those who merely accumulate from those who create lasting legacy. This isn't about making more money. This is about becoming the kind of person who attracts, multiplies, and stewards wealth in a way that creates meaning, not just comfort. This is about shifting from someone who chases financial security to someone who embodies true prosperity. The 7 laws I'm about to reveal come from the deepest valleys of my own experience, from seasons where I had everything and felt nothing, from moments where I realized that all my riches were meaningless without wisdom, without purpose, without the understanding of what wealth is truly meant to accomplish. If you're ready to stop accumulating and start truly prospering, if you're ready to transform your relationship with money from the ground up, then you need to hear every word of what comes next. Because buried within you right now is the seed of the wealth you've been searching for. But like any seed, it requires the right conditions, the right laws, the right understanding to grow into something that will astound you. Subscribe now, because what I'm about to share will challenge everything you believe about money, success, and what it really means to be rich. This isn't motivation. This is revelation. Number 1, Introduction to the Wealth Mindset. You sit there, staring at your reflection in the morning, and you feel it. That gnawing sensation that despite all your efforts, despite all your intelligence, despite all your good intentions, you remain trapped behind invisible bars that you cannot name or touch. You earn money, you save money, you even invest money, but wealth continues to elude you like smoke between your fingers. The harder you grasp, the more it escapes. I am Solomon, and I have stood where you stand now. I have felt the weight of that invisible cage, even while sitting on a throne made of gold. You see, there exists a prison more confining than any dungeon, more limiting than any physical chain. It is the prison of a mind that has not been transformed to receive, multiply, and steward true wealth. Most people believe that wealth is about having money. This is the first and most devastating lie that keeps millions of souls trapped in financial mediocrity. Wealth is not about possession. Wealth is about consciousness. It is about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts abundance, because their very being vibrates at the frequency of prosperity. Listen to me carefully. When a person who has not transformed their mind suddenly receives great fortune, they do not become wealthy. They become a poor person with money. They live in fear of losing what they have gained. They make decisions from scarcity, not abundance. They attract people who want to take from them, not contribute to them. They build walls instead of bridges. They become prisoners of their own success, living in golden cages, slaves to the very wealth they thought would free them. I learned this truth through the most painful teacher possible, experience. In my youth, I asked God for wisdom to govern my people. And God, in His infinite mercy, not only gave me that wisdom but also riches beyond measure. Gold flowed to me like rivers. Silver accumulated in my treasuries like sand on the shore. Merchants came from the ends of the earth to trade with me. Yet I discovered something that shattered my understanding of what it means to be blessed. Having wealth without wisdom is like trying to hold water in a broken vessel. No matter how much you pour in, it will always leak out. But when the vessel of your consciousness is whole, when your mind has been transformed to understand the true nature of abundance, even a small amount multiplies exponentially. Here is the philosophical foundation upon which everything else rests. Wealth is not something you get, it is something you become. It is not a destination you reach, it is an identity you embody. It is not about changing your bank account. It is about transforming your entire relationship with value, abundance, and purpose. Imagine for a moment a tree. When you see a mighty oak producing thousands of acorns each season, do you marvel at the acorns? Or do you recognize that the true miracle is the tree itself? The acorns are merely the natural expression of what the tree has become in its essence. In the same way, money in the life of a truly wealthy person is simply the natural fruit of who they are at their core. There was once a merchant in my kingdom who came to me with a peculiar complaint. He said, "King Solomon, I work harder than any man I know. I rise before dawn and sleep after midnight. I study every trade route and memorize every price. Yet I remain poor while others who seem to work less prosper greatly. What is the secret I am missing?" I took him to my gardens and showed him two plants. One was struggling, its leaves wilted despite being watered daily. The other flourished with minimal attention. "Tell me," I said, "which plant is working harder to survive?" He pointed to the wilted one. "And which is thriving?" He pointed to the healthy one. "The difference," I explained, "is not in the amount of water each receives, but in the quality of the soil in which each is planted. Change your soil and you change your harvest." The soil of wealth is consciousness. It is the deep, often invisible foundation of beliefs, values, principles, and identity upon which all external success grows. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change their harvest while ignoring the quality of their soil. They work on techniques while neglecting transformation. They focus on tactics while avoiding the deep inner work that makes all tactics effective. This is your turning point. Right now, in this moment, you must decide whether you will continue trying to fix your financial results while ignoring your financial foundation, or whether you will commit to the deeper work of transformation. Will you continue planting seeds in poor soil and wondering why nothing grows? Or will you invest the time and energy necessary to prepare ground that can sustain the kind of harvest you truly desire? The 7 laws I am about to share with you are not quick fixes or clever strategies. They are fundamental principles that will transform the very soil of your consciousness. They will change not just what you do with money, but who you become in relationship to money. They will shift you from someone who chases wealth to someone who naturally attracts it, from someone who hoards resources to someone who multiplies them, from someone who fears scarcity to someone who operates from abundance. But understand this, transformation is not comfortable. It requires you to examine beliefs you have held sacred, to question assumptions you have never questioned, to release identities you have clung to for security. It requires you to die to who you have been so that who you are meant to become can emerge. The wealthy mindset begins with this recognition. You already possess everything necessary to create the life you desire. The gold is already within you, waiting to be discovered, refined, and multiplied. These 7 laws are the tools that will help you excavate that gold from the mine of your own consciousness and transform it into a legacy that will outlast your lifetime. Number 2, law of profitable silence. You cannot keep your mouth shut, can you? When someone mentions money, you immediately have an opinion. When a business opportunity arises, you are the first to analyze it out loud. When you have an idea, you rush to share it with anyone who will listen. And then you wonder why your financial life remains stuck in mediocrity, while others who seem less intelligent than you prosper beyond your comprehension. I am about to share with you the most counterintuitive secret of wealth building. Your mouth is your enemy. Your need to speak, to be heard, to demonstrate your intelligence, to seek validation for your ideas, is the single greatest obstacle standing between you and true financial abundance. Every word you speak about money before it is earned is energy leaked, power diminished, opportunity scattered to the wind. The wealthy understand something that the poor never learn. Silence is not the absence of power, it is the concentration of power. When you hold your tongue, when you resist the urge to broadcast your plans, when you develop the discipline to keep your financial strategies to yourself, something magical begins to happen. Your ideas begin to mature in the fertile silence of your own mind, protected from the poisonous opinions of those who have never achieved what you are attempting to achieve. Consider the seed buried in the earth. Does it announce its presence? Does it describe its plans to become a tree? Does it seek approval from the soil, validation from the rain, encouragement from the sun? No. It works in absolute silence, drawing nutrients, developing roots, gathering strength. And one day, when it has accumulated enough power, it breaks through the surface as a manifestation of pure potential realized. This is the essence of profitable silence. The recognition that your financial future is too precious to be subjected to the casual commentary of casual people. Every time you share an unproven idea, you invite doubt. Every time you seek approval for a plan that has not yet been tested, you weaken your own conviction. Every time you explain your strategy to someone who has never implemented such a strategy, you dilute the purity of your vision with their limitations. I learned this lesson through bitter experience. In my early years as king, I was eager to share my plans with my advisors, to seek their input on every decision, to build consensus around every initiative. I believed that more voices meant better decisions, but I discovered that more voices often mean more confusion, more doubt, more delay, and more compromise. The truly revolutionary ideas, the breakthrough strategies, the wealth-building opportunities that changed my kingdom, all came from periods of deep silence, intense contemplation, and solitary decision-making. But profitable silence is not just about keeping your mouth closed. It is about developing what I call financial listening. While others are talking, you are listening. While others are debating, you are observing. While others are explaining why something cannot be done, you are studying how it might be accomplished. You become like a financial detective, gathering intelligence that others miss because they are too busy speaking to truly hear. I once observed a young merchant in my court who possessed this rare gift. While other traders would loudly debate the merits of various trade routes, he would sit quietly, listening not just to their words, but to what their words revealed about their character, their knowledge, their fears, and their opportunities. Within a year, he had become one of the most successful traders in my kingdom, not because he spoke the most, but because he listened the most strategically. Financial listening operates on multiple levels. First, you listen to the market. You hear what people are really saying beneath what they appear to be saying. You detect the subtle shifts in language that reveal changing needs, emerging opportunities, or developing problems that smart money can solve. Second, you listen to individuals. You discern who has real knowledge versus who has mere opinions, who operates from abundance versus who operates from scarcity, who creates value versus who merely consumes it. But the deepest level of financial listening is internal. In the silence, you learn to distinguish between the voice of wisdom and the voice of fear, between intuition and impulse, between genuine opportunity and disguised distraction. You develop what the wise call discernment, the ability to see through the external appearance of things to their true nature and potential. Here is the practical application of this law. For the next 30 days, commit to speaking about money only when absolutely necessary for conducting actual business. Do not share your financial goals. Do not discuss your investment strategies. Do not seek opinions about your business ideas. Instead, become a student of silence. Listen to how others speak about money and what their words reveal about their relationship with abundance. Observe how successful people handle financial conversations differently than unsuccessful people. Create what I call silent power rituals. Spend time each morning in complete silence, not meditation, not prayer, just silence. Allow your mind to settle into stillness. In that stillness, review your financial situation without judgment, without emotion, without the need to fix anything immediately. Simply observe. Notice what insights emerge when you are not trying to force solutions. Practice the discipline of internal processing. Before you speak about any financial matter, ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve by speaking about this? Am I seeking validation, trying to impress someone, attempting to convince myself of something I am not sure about, or genuinely communicating something necessary for progress? If the answer is anything other than the last option, remain silent. Develop the art of strategic questioning. Instead of sharing your ideas, ask questions that reveal information while protecting your own strategies. Learn to gather intelligence without revealing intelligence. Become someone others want to talk to because you listen so well, not because you speak so cleverly. The transformation that occurs when you master profitable silence is profound. You begin to operate from a different energy. Instead of the scattered energy of someone desperately seeking approval and validation, you emanate the concentrated power of someone who knows something others do not know. People begin to treat you differently. They sense that you possess depth, that you are not just another person with opinions but someone who has cultivated real wisdom through real discipline. Money begins to move toward you differently as well. Opportunities that were invisible when you were busy talking become obvious when you are truly listening. The right people, the right deals, the right timing, all align more naturally because you have created the internal space to recognize and receive them. Remember this: the wealthy speak less about money and more with money. Their actions demonstrate their understanding, not their words. They have learned that in the realm of wealth, silence is not empty space to be filled but sacred space to be protected, where the most valuable insights are born and the most profitable decisions are made. Your mouth has been your enemy, but your silence will become your greatest ally in the pursuit of true financial abundance. Number 3, law of the secret motive. Stop lying to yourself. You want money, you think about money, you dream about money, but you have never honestly examined why you want money. You give yourself noble reasons. Security for your family, freedom to travel, the ability to help others, independence from your job. These sound good, they feel right. They make you appear virtuous even to yourself. But beneath these acceptable explanations lies a deeper truth that you refuse to acknowledge. And this refusal is why your relationship with wealth remains shallow, unstable, and ultimately unsatisfying. I am Solomon, and I have seen into the heart of human financial motivation. I have observed the secret drives that compel men and women to pursue wealth, and I have learned that money is the most revealing mirror of the human soul. It exposes our deepest insecurities, our hidden wounds, our unhealed shame, our desperate need for validation. And until you are willing to face what really drives your desire for wealth, you will remain trapped in patterns of financial self-sabotage that will puzzle and frustrate you for your entire life. The law of the secret motive teaches this fundamental truth. Money does not transform people, it amplifies who they already are. If you seek wealth to prove your worth, money will turn you into someone obsessed with proving your worth at ever greater levels. If you desire riches to escape your problems, wealth will create bigger problems that require more wealth to avoid. If you pursue abundance to fill an inner emptiness, no amount of external accumulation will ever be enough to satisfy the void within you. Most people approach wealth building backwards. They focus on strategies, techniques, and systems, while ignoring the psychological and spiritual foundation from which all sustainable wealth must grow. They treat money as if it were neutral, as if it could be separated from the consciousness that attracts it, manages it, and ultimately determines its impact. But money is never neutral. It is always serving someone's deepest agenda, whether they are conscious of that agenda or not. I learned this lesson through the most painful teacher of all, success itself. In my youth, when God offered to grant me anything I desired, I asked for wisdom to govern my people well. This request came from a pure motive, genuine concern for those under my care. And because the motive was pure, God not only granted my request, but added riches beyond my imagination as a secondary blessing. The wealth flowed naturally from the wisdom, like fruit from a healthy tree. But as the years passed and my riches multiplied, I began to notice subtle changes in my motivations. The pure desire to serve my people became mixed with pride in my reputation as the wisest king on earth. The joy of solving problems became contaminated with the intoxication of being seen as the solver of problems. The satisfaction of building something meaningful was gradually replaced by the addiction to building something impressive. My secret motives had shifted, and with them, the very nature of my wealth began to change. The riches remained, but their blessing power diminished. What had once been a source of joy became a burden. What had once connected me to God and my people became a wall between us. The same money that had once multiplied the impact of my service began to multiply the impact of my ego. I had learned firsthand that wealth without pure motivation is not a blessing, but a sophisticated form of curse. Here is the deeper truth. Your secret motive determines not only whether you will achieve wealth, but what kind of wealth you will achieve, how long you will keep it, and what it will ultimately do to your soul. Wealth pursued for ego will feed your ego until it consumes you. Wealth sought for security will create insecurity at every new level. Wealth desired for power will corrupt you with power. But wealth that flows from service, from love, from a genuine desire to contribute something meaningful to the world, this wealth becomes a force of blessing that enriches not only you but everyone it touches. The tragedy is that most people are completely unconscious of their true financial motivations. They have learned to give socially acceptable answers to the question of why they want money, but they have never gone deep enough to discover what really drives them. They think they want financial freedom, but what they really want is the feeling of being important. They believe they seek abundance, but what they actually crave is the approval of others. They imagine they desire independence, but what they truly long for is the power to control their environment and the people in it. This self-deception creates a fundamental misalignment between conscious goals and unconscious motivations. You set financial targets based on what you think you want, but your unconscious mind sabotages those goals because it recognizes they will not actually satisfy what you really want. The result is the frustrating pattern that so many people experience, working hard toward financial objectives while unconsciously undermining their own efforts. The turning point comes when you develop the courage to examine your secret motives with ruthless honesty. You must be willing to ask yourself the uncomfortable questions. Do I want money to prove I am as good as people who rejected me? Am I pursuing wealth to gain the respect I felt was denied me? Do I desire riches to fill the emptiness left by a love I never received? Am I seeking financial success to avoid facing parts of myself I would rather not examine? These questions are not comfortable, but they are necessary. Because only when you understand what you are really seeking can you determine whether money is the appropriate vehicle for getting it, or whether you are asking money to do something it was never designed to do. Money can provide security, but it cannot heal insecurity. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot create inner peace. Money can purchase respect, but it cannot generate self-respect. Money can acquire power, but it cannot fill the void that makes someone crave power in the first place. Once you have identified your true motives, you face a choice that will determine your entire financial future. You can continue pursuing wealth as a way to avoid dealing with your deeper issues, in which case you will either fail to achieve it or achieve it only to discover it does not satisfy what you thought it would. Or you can begin the more difficult but infinitely more rewarding work of addressing those deeper issues directly, creating space for pure motives to emerge and guide your relationship with abundance. Pure financial motivation is simple: the desire to create value for others while building sustainable security for yourself and those you love. It is the recognition that wealth is a tool for service, not an end in itself. It is the understanding that money flows most freely to those who see it as a means of contributing to something greater than themselves. When your motives are pure, everything changes. Opportunities that were invisible suddenly become obvious. People who were previously uninterested in helping you become eager to support your vision. Resources that seemed scarce begin to appear abundant. Most importantly, the wealth you do accumulate brings genuine satisfaction because it aligns with your deepest values rather than conflicting with them. The secret motive shapes everything. What kind of wealth you attract, how you manage it once you have it, what legacy it creates, and ultimately, whether it becomes a source of blessing or curse in your life. Choose your motives as carefully as you choose your strategies, because in the end, the motives matter more than the methods. Number 4, law of preparation. You want the harvest, but you despise the planting season. You dream of financial abundance, but you resent the preparation that abundance requires. You see others enjoying the fruits of wealth and you whisper, "Why not me?" But you have never asked yourself the harder question: am I prepared for what I am asking for? You believe you are ready for success because you feel ready, because you desire it intensely, because you think you have suffered enough to deserve it. But feeling ready and being ready are separated by an ocean of preparation that most people are unwilling to cross. I am Solomon, and I tell you this: every external failure is the manifestation of an internal unpreparedness. Every missed opportunity is the result of skills not developed, character not forged, wisdom not accumulated, or relationships not cultivated. The universe does not withhold abundance from those who are truly prepared to receive it, multiply it, and steward it wisely. But the universe is also not foolish enough to place great wealth in the hands of those who lack the foundation to sustain it. Preparation is the invisible work that makes visible success inevitable. It is the daily discipline that no one sees but everyone benefits from. It is the years of study, practice, failure, learning, and character building that create the internal capacity to handle external abundance. Most people want to skip this phase. They want the shortcut, the hack, the secret formula that will catapult them from where they are to where they want to be without passing through the uncomfortable territory of becoming someone capable of living where they want to be. This is why lottery winners often end up bankrupt within a few years. This is why people who inherit wealth frequently squander it within a generation. This is why those who experience sudden financial success through luck, speculation, or chance rarely sustain that success long term. They received wealth without preparation, abundance without the internal development necessary to steward abundance wisely. They got the harvest without learning how to plant, cultivate, or protect the field. True preparation operates on 4 levels: technical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. Technical preparation involves developing the skills, knowledge, and competencies necessary to create and manage wealth in your chosen field. Emotional preparation means building the psychological resilience, patience, and long-term thinking required to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of any wealth-building journey. Relational preparation is about cultivating the network of relationships, partnerships, and alliances that accelerate and sustain financial success. Spiritual preparation involves aligning your pursuit of wealth with principles and values that transcend immediate gratification. Most people focus only on technical preparation, if they prepare at all. They learn about investing, study business strategies, or develop professional skills. But technical knowledge without emotional maturity leads to poor decisions under pressure. Technical skills without strong relationships mean working alone when you could be working with others. Technical expertise without spiritual foundation creates success that feels empty and purpose that feels shallow. I learned this through my own preparation to become king. My father David did not simply crown me and expect me to figure out how to rule. Years before I took the throne, he began preparing me. I studied the law, learned about justice, observed how kingdoms functioned, and most importantly, developed the character necessary to handle power wisely. When God offered to grant my request, I was prepared to ask for wisdom rather than wealth because I understood that wealth without wisdom is dangerous, but wisdom naturally attracts wealth. The preparation period often feels like punishment to those who do not understand its purpose. It is characterized by working without recognition, learning without immediate application, serving without adequate compensation, and developing skills that seem unrelated to your ultimate goals. This is why so many people abandon their preparation before it is complete. They mistake the process for the destination, the investment for the loss, the foundation for the building. But those who understand the law of preparation recognize these seasons for what they truly are, the most valuable and necessary part of their entire journey. Every hour spent in preparation saves years of struggle later. Every skill developed in obscurity becomes a tool for visible success. Every character trait forged in difficulty becomes a strength that sustains abundance. Consider the story of a young merchant who came to work in my court. He was eager to establish his own trading business, but lacked the capital to begin. Instead of becoming bitter or trying to borrow money he could not repay, he spent 3 years working for established merchants, learning every aspect of their operations. He studied their successes and their failures. He observed how they negotiated, how they managed risk, how they built relationships with suppliers and customers. He saved every coin he could while investing in his own education. When he finally launched his own enterprise, he was not starting from zero. He was drawing from 3 years of concentrated learning and relationship building. Within 2 years, his business had grown larger than those of the merchants he had once served. His preparation period, which had seemed slow and frustrating to him at the time, had actually been the most efficient path to sustainable success. The turning point in understanding preparation comes when you realize that every successful person you admire went through a preparation phase that was longer and more difficult than you imagined. The athletes you watch competing at the highest level trained for years before they ever competed publicly. The business leaders you read about worked in obscurity, developing their skills and building their knowledge long before they launched the companies that made them famous. The artists whose work you admire practiced their craft in private for thousands of hours before creating anything worthy of public attention. But here is what most people miss. The preparation phase is not just about developing external skills. It is about becoming the kind of person who can handle success without being corrupted by it, abundance without being consumed by it, power without being intoxicated by it. It is about building internal capacities that match your external aspirations. This internal development cannot be rushed. Character is built through repeated choices made under pressure. Wisdom is accumulated through the accumulation of failures that teach invaluable lessons. Emotional resilience is developed through navigating difficulties that would have broken your former self. These internal qualities can only be developed through time, experience, and the willingness to embrace the discomfort of growth. The practical application of this law requires shifting your relationship with your current circumstances. Instead of seeing your present situation as something to escape from, begin seeing it as preparation for what you are becoming. Every challenge you face is developing skills you will need later. Every difficult person you must deal with is teaching you about human nature in ways that will serve you when you have employees, partners, or customers. Every financial constraint you navigate is building the discipline and creativity you will need to manage abundance wisely. Embrace what I call strategic patience. This is not passive waiting but active preparation. Use this time to study, learn, practice, and build. Develop the skills that will be necessary for the next level of your financial journey. Cultivate relationships with people who are where you want to be. Read about, study, and learn from those who have built the kind of wealth you aspire to create. Most importantly, work on becoming the kind of person who would naturally attract and sustain the abundance you desire. Remember, preparation is not the price you pay for success. It is the foundation upon which sustainable success is built. Those who try to skip this phase may achieve temporary wins, but they lack the depth necessary for lasting abundance. Those who embrace preparation fully may advance more slowly initially, but they build wealth that endures and multiplies across generations. The question is not whether you will face challenges on your path to abundance. The question is whether those challenges will find you prepared or unprepared when they arrive. Number 5, Law of Real Exchange. You hoard your money like a dragon hoarding gold, and then you wonder why abundance feels so elusive, why opportunities seem to pass you by, why your wealth grows so slowly despite your careful saving and conservative planning. You have been taught that financial wisdom means holding onto every dollar, that security comes from accumulation, that the path to wealth is through keeping rather than giving. But I am about to reveal to you one of the most counterintuitive truths of abundance. Money that does not flow dies, and wealth that is not shared stops growing. I am Solomon, and in my years of unparalleled prosperity, I discovered that money is like water. When water flows, it brings life everywhere it goes. It nourishes plants, sustains animals, fills reservoirs, and generates power. But when water stops flowing, it becomes stagnant, breeding disease and death. The same principle governs wealth. Money that circulates creates opportunity, builds relationships, generates returns, and multiplies naturally. Money that stagnates becomes a burden rather than a blessing, creating fear rather than freedom, scarcity rather than abundance. The law of real exchange teaches that true wealth is not about how much you can accumulate, but about how, intelligently, you can circulate what you have in ways that create value for others while generating returns for yourself. It is about understanding that every dollar you possess is asking you a question. Will you use me to build bridges or walls, to create opportunities or obstacles, to plant seeds that will grow into forests of abundance, or bury me in the sterile ground of fear-based hoarding? Most people fundamentally misunderstand the nature of money. They see it as a finite resource to be conserved rather than as energy to be directed. They operate from scarcity consciousness, believing that giving money to others necessarily means having less for themselves. This scarcity mindset creates exactly what it fears: scarcity. When you hold tightly to money out of fear, you signal to the universe that you believe abundance is limited, and the universe responds by making abundance limited in your experience. But those who understand the law of real exchange operate from abundance consciousness. They recognize that money given wisely does not disappear but multiplies. They understand that wealth shared strategically does not decrease, but creates a network of reciprocal abundance that benefits everyone involved. They see money not as something to possess, but as something to deploy in service of creating value. The key word here is strategically. The law of real exchange is not about random generosity or careless spending. It is not about giving money to anyone who asks or supporting every cause that appeals to your emotions. It is about intelligent circulation. directing your resources toward people and opportunities that have the potential to multiply the value of what you give, while creating benefits that extend far beyond the initial transaction. Strategic giving means investing in people who have potential but lack resources. It means supporting entrepreneurs who have vision but need capital. It means creating partnerships where your money becomes the catalyst for someone else's abilities to flourish. It means funding projects that align with your values, while generating returns that allow you to fund even more such projects in the future. I practiced this principle throughout my reign. When a young artisan showed exceptional skill but lacked tools to develop his craft, I provided those tools not as charity but as investment in human potential. When a merchant had a sound business plan but insufficient capital, I became a silent partner, sharing in both the risks and the rewards. When communities needed infrastructure to thrive, I funded those projects knowing that prosperous communities create prosperous kingdoms. In every case, my initial giving was multiplied back to me many times over, not just in financial returns but in loyalty, reputation, and opportunity. But the deepest level of real exchange goes beyond money to value creation itself. True wealth builders understand that money flows toward those who create the most value for others. They focus not just on getting money, but on getting good at something that makes other people's lives better, easier, more profitable, or more enjoyable. They build wealth by building value, and they build value by solving problems that people are willing to pay to have solved. This shifts your entire approach to wealth building. Instead of asking, "How can I make money?" you begin asking, "What problems can I solve that people will pay me to solve?" Instead of focusing on what you can get, you focus on what you can give. Instead of trying to extract value from others, you concentrate on creating value for others. This shift in mindset creates a magnetic effect. People begin seeking you out because they recognize that interacting with you somehow makes their lives better. The exchange becomes real when both parties benefit more from the transaction than they would from keeping what they initially possessed. This is the foundation of all sustainable wealth. The creation of genuine win-win scenarios where everyone involved ends up better off than they started. When you master this art, money begins flowing toward you naturally because people recognize that giving you money is actually an investment in their own benefit. Here is a story that illustrates this principle perfectly. There was a blacksmith in my kingdom who was struggling financially despite being highly skilled at his craft. When I asked him about his business, he complained that customers were always trying to negotiate down his prices, and he could barely make ends meet. I observed his work for several days and noticed something revealing. He was focused entirely on making horseshoes, but what his customers really needed was horses that could work longer and more effectively. He was selling products instead of solving problems. I suggested he shift his approach. Instead of simply making horseshoes, he began studying which designs helped horses work most efficiently on different terrains. He developed specialized shoes for different types of work and began consulting with horse owners about how to maximize their animals' performance. He started guaranteeing his work and sharing in the improved productivity his horseshoes created. Within a year, he had transformed from a struggling craftsman into one of the most prosperous business owners in the region. His prices were higher than ever, but customers gladly paid them because the value he created far exceeded the cost. The practical application of this law requires a fundamental shift in how you think about money and business. Start by identifying the problems you are uniquely equipped to solve. What combination of skills, knowledge, experience, and resources do you possess that could create significant value for others? How can you package and deliver this value in ways that make other people's lives meaningfully better? Then begin practicing strategic circulation. Look for opportunities to invest small amounts of money in people and projects that have the potential to generate both financial returns and positive impact. This might mean lending money to a friend starting a business, investing in a community project that will benefit everyone, or funding the education of someone with potential. Start small, but start strategically. Most importantly, develop what I call an abundance antenna, the ability to recognize and create win-win opportunities wherever you go. Train yourself to see every interaction as a potential value exchange, rather than a zero-sum competition. Look for ways to use your resources, whether financial, intellectual, or relational, to create benefits for others that naturally generate benefits for yourself. Remember, the wealthy are not those who hoard the most money, but those who circulate money most intelligently. They understand that in the realm of abundance, giving and receiving are not opposite actions, but two aspects of the same flow. When you master the law of real exchange, you discover that the fastest way to get what you want is to help others get what they want, and the surest path to abundance is through the intelligent sharing of what you already possess. Number 6, law of sacred flow. You treat money like it belongs to you, like you earned it through your own power, like you deserve it because of your intelligence, your hard work, your sacrifices. You make financial decisions based on what will benefit you most, what will secure your future most completely, what will satisfy your desires most fully. And in this approach, you have missed the most fundamental truth about wealth. Nothing you possess actually belongs to you. You are not an owner, you are a steward. And until you understand this distinction, your relationship with money will remain shallow, anxious, and ultimately unfulfilling. I am Solomon, and I learned this lesson at the height of my prosperity, when I possessed more gold than any king before or since, when silver was as common as stones in Jerusalem, when my wealth made other rulers seem like paupers by comparison. At that pinnacle of material success, I made a discovery that changed everything. All my riches were on loan. Every coin in my treasury, every jewel in my crown, every building in my kingdom, all of it was temporarily entrusted to my care for purposes larger than my personal enjoyment. The law of sacred flow teaches that true wealth begins with the recognition that God is the ultimate source of all abundance, and that every financial blessing carries with it a responsibility to use that blessing in alignment with divine principles. This is not religious sentiment or pious platitude. This is practical wisdom that transforms not just how much money you make, but how money affects your character, your relationships, your peace of mind, and your legacy. When you recognize that your wealth is sacred, loaned to you by God for specific purposes, everything changes. Fear of losing money diminishes because you understand that what God has entrusted to you, He also has the power to protect and multiply. Anxiety about financial security decreases because you realize that your security comes not from your bank account, but from your relationship with the source of all provision. Guilt about having money while others lack it disappears because you understand that you have been blessed to be a blessing, entrusted with resources precisely so you can use them to serve others. But this sacred perspective also creates a healthy accountability. Every financial decision becomes a question of stewardship. How can I use these resources in ways that honor God and serve His purposes? Every dollar spent becomes an act of worship, either devoted to values that align with divine character or corrupted by values that contradict it. Every investment becomes a statement of faith, either building things that matter eternally or chasing things that matter only temporarily. Most people compartmentalize their spiritual life from their financial life, as if money were somehow neutral territory where divine principles do not apply. They pray about their relationships, their health, their families, but they make financial decisions based purely on secular calculations. They seek God's blessing on their wealth, but do not seek God's wisdom about how to use that wealth. They want to prosper financially while keeping their prosperity separate from their spiritual growth. But wealth and spirituality are not separate domains. They are intimately connected aspects of a single life lived before God. How you handle money reveals your true values more clearly than your words ever could. What you do with abundance demonstrates your character more accurately than what you say about virtue. Your financial choices are spiritual choices, whether you acknowledge it or not. The sacred flow means making financial decisions with eternity in mind, not just time. It means asking not just, what will this investment return to me, but what kind of world will this investment create? It means considering not just, how will this purchase benefit me today, but how will this expenditure affect my character and my witness? It means viewing every transaction as an opportunity to either advance kingdom purposes or indulge selfish desires. This does not mean that enjoying wealth is wrong or that prosperity is inherently spiritual dangerous. God delights in blessing His children with good gifts. The danger comes not from having wealth but from being owned by wealth, not from enjoying abundance but from being controlled by abundance, not from receiving financial blessings, but from forgetting that they are blessings rather than entitlements. I lived through both sides of this dynamic. In my early years as king, when my wealth flowed from wisdom and service, money was a tool that multiplied my ability to bless others. The temple I built, the infrastructure I created, the prosperity I brought to my people, all of these were expressions of sacred wealth flowing through a surrendered steward toward purposes larger than personal accumulation. But in my later years, as I began to see my wealth as proof of my own greatness rather than evidence of God's goodness, the same money became a source of corruption. I spent vast sums on personal pleasure rather than public benefit. I used my resources to indulge pride rather than serve others. I accumulated possessions for display rather than utility. The wealth remained, but the sacred flow had been redirected toward selfish purposes, and with that redirection, both the blessing and the joy of wealth began to diminish. The turning point in establishing sacred flow comes when you make a conscious decision to acknowledge God as your financial partner. This means involving Him in your financial planning, seeking His wisdom before making major financial decisions, and regularly asking yourself whether your money management aligns with His character and purposes. It means tithing not as religious obligation, but as recognition that everything you have comes from Him. It means giving generously not to earn favor, but to express gratitude for favor already received. But sacred flow goes deeper than formal religious practices. It influences the very spirit with which you approach wealth building. You pursue success not to prove your worth, but to expand your capacity to serve. You accumulate resources not to display your power, but to increase your ability to make a positive impact. You build wealth not to secure your independence from God, but to demonstrate your dependence on God through wise stewardship of His blessings. This shifts your entire relationship with risk, failure, and success. When you know that God is your ultimate provider, you can take calculated risks without being paralyzed by fear, because your security rests not on your ability to predict outcomes, but on His ability to provide for you regardless of outcomes. When you understand that temporary setbacks are often divine course corrections, you can learn from failures without being devastated by them. When you recognize that success is a gift rather than a reward, you can enjoy prosperity without being corrupted by it. The practical application of this law begins with a simple but profound acknowledgement. God, everything I have comes from You and belongs to You. I am Your steward, not the owner. Help me use these resources in ways that honor You and serve Your purposes. This is not a one-time prayer but a daily orientation, a lens through which you view every financial decision. Establish regular practices that reinforce this sacred perspective. Begin each day by acknowledging God's provision and asking for wisdom to steward His blessings well. Before making significant financial decisions, pray for guidance and consider how different choices align with divine principles. Regularly, review your spending, saving, and giving patterns to ensure they reflect your stated values rather than contradicting them. Create what I call sacred boundaries around your wealth. Determine in advance what percentage of your income will be devoted to giving, what types of expenditures align with your values, and what financial practices you will avoid because they compromise your integrity or your witness. These boundaries are not restrictions on your freedom, but protections for your spiritual health, ensuring that money serves your highest purposes rather than corrupting your deepest commitments. When you embrace the law of sacred flow, wealth becomes not just a personal blessing but a spiritual discipline, not just a financial goal but a character development tool, not just a means of security but a vehicle for service. Money stops being a source of anxiety and becomes a source of opportunity, an instrument through which divine love can flow to a world in need. Number 7. Law of the last place. You hate waiting. You despise being overlooked. You resent watching others succeed while you remain in obscurity, working hard but receiving little recognition, developing skills that seem to go unnoticed, preparing for opportunities that seem never to come. You see people younger than you, less experienced than you, less prepared than you, being promoted ahead of you, achieving financial success before you, reaching destinations you have been traveling toward for years. And in your frustration, you are missing the most important truth about lasting success. Those who finish last in preparation often finish first in performance. I am Solomon, and I understand the anguish of the last place because I lived there longer than most people realize. While my older brothers were being groomed for leadership, I was studying in silence. While others were positioning themselves for power, I was developing character in obscurity. While my contemporaries were building reputations, I was building foundations that no one could see. The years I spent in the background, overlooked and underestimated, were not wasted years. They were the most valuable years of my entire life, the years that prepared me for a level of success that would have destroyed me had I achieved it prematurely. The law of the last place reveals that God often uses delay, anonymity, and apparent disadvantage as the final stages of preparation for those destined for extraordinary impact. While others rush toward visible success, those being prepared for lasting significance are kept in the background longer, not as punishment but as protection. They are being developed in ways that quick success cannot achieve, building internal capacities that instant recognition cannot create, forging character that premature elevation would undermine. This is perhaps the most difficult law to accept because it requires patience in a culture that worships speed, faith in a world that demands proof, and humility in an environment that rewards self-promotion. Everything around you tells you that if you are not succeeding quickly, you are failing. Every success story you hear emphasizes the speed of achievement rather than the depth of preparation. Every motivational message pushes you to want more, faster now. But the deepest truth about sustainable wealth is that those who build it most successfully often take longer to build it, not because they are slow learners, but because they are building something that will last. The last place is not a position of disadvantage. It is a position of development. While you are there, invisible forces are at work shaping you for responsibilities you cannot yet imagine. Skills are being refined that you will need for challenges you have not yet faced. Character is being forged through difficulties that will give you strength for successes you have not yet achieved. Relationships are being formed with people who will become crucial partners in ventures you have not yet conceived. But the greatest work that happens in the last place is internal. It is here that you learn to derive your sense of worth from who you are becoming rather than from what you are achieving. It is here that you develop the security that comes from knowing your identity is not dependent on external recognition. It is here that you build the emotional resilience necessary to handle the pressures that come with high levels of success. Most people cannot handle success when it comes too quickly because they have not developed what I call success immunity. They have not been tested by failure, humbled by rejection, or strengthened by obscurity. When wealth and recognition arrive suddenly, they lack the internal foundation necessary to process these blessings wisely. They become intoxicated by success rather than sobered by it, corrupted by wealth rather than motivated by it to create more value. I have observed this pattern countless times. The entrepreneurs who achieve massive success in their 20s often struggle with depression, addiction, or relational dysfunction because they received external rewards before developing internal maturity. The athletes who become superstars without experiencing significant adversity frequently implode under pressure because they never learn to process failure or disappointment. The business leaders who are promoted too rapidly often make catastrophic decisions because they never spend enough time in lower-level positions to understand the full complexity of what they are leading. But those who spend adequate time in the last place, those who are developed slowly and thoroughly, these individuals handle success with grace. They remain humble because they remember where they came from. They stay grounded because they understand that success is a gift rather than a guarantee. They use wealth wisely because they know what it is like to have little. They treat people well because they remember what it felt like to be overlooked. The story of Joseph illustrates this principle perfectly. He received a vision of future leadership as a teenager, but instead of being elevated immediately, he spent years as a slave and then more years in prison. Every place of apparent disadvantage was actually a classroom where he learned skills he would need as a leader, managing households as a slave, maintaining integrity under pressure as a prisoner, interpreting dreams and solving problems in both positions. When he finally rose to become the second most powerful man in Egypt, he was not just ready for the position, he was perfectly prepared for it. His time in the last place had equipped him for first-place responsibilities. Your time in the last place is serving the same purpose. Every rejection is teaching you resilience. Every delay is developing your character. Every frustration is building your determination. Every period of obscurity is allowing you to develop skills and insights without the pressure of public scrutiny. You are not being punished by staying in the background. You are being prepared for the foreground. But this preparation only benefits you if you embrace it rather than resent it. If you spend your time in the last place complaining about being there, you miss the lessons it is trying to teach you. If you focus on what you lack rather than on what you are gaining, you waste the developmental opportunities that obscurity provides. If you become bitter about others succeeding ahead of you, you poison your own preparation for success. The key to maximizing your time in the last place is to recognize it for what it is: advanced education. Instead of asking, "Why is this taking so long?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of focusing on when your breakthrough will come, focus on who you are becoming while you wait. Instead of comparing your timeline to others' timelines, concentrate on making sure that when your time comes, you will be ready for it. Use this season to develop excellence in small things, knowing that faithfulness in little prepares you for responsibility over much. Build relationships with others who are also in preparation seasons, creating networks of mutual support and eventual collaboration. Study those who have achieved what you aspire to achieve, learning not just their strategies but their character qualities. Most importantly, cultivate the inner life qualities that will sustain you when external success arrives. Humility, gratitude, wisdom, and dependence on God. The last place is temporary, but the lessons learned there are permanent. The character developed in obscurity becomes the foundation for influence. The patience learned in waiting becomes the wisdom needed for leadership. The humility forged in the background becomes the grace needed in the spotlight. Remember this: God is never in a hurry, but He is never late. Your season of anonymity will end exactly when you are ready for it to end, not a moment before, not a moment after. Until then, Embrace the last place as the most valuable classroom you will ever attend, knowing that graduation is coming, and when it arrives, you will be magnificently prepared for whatever comes next. Number 8. Purpose and financial destiny. You chase money as if money were the destination, but money is only the vehicle. You accumulate wealth as if wealth were the goal, but wealth is only the tool. You measure success by the size of your bank account, but the size of your bank account reveals nothing about the size of your impact, the depth of your fulfillment, or the significance of your legacy. You have mistaken the means for the end, the instrument for the symphony, the brush for the painting. And this fundamental confusion is why your financial achievements, however impressive they may be, leave you feeling empty rather than energized, isolated rather than connected, successful rather than significant. I am Solomon, and I achieved financial success beyond any measure known to history. Yet at the height of my material abundance, I wrote these words: meaningless, meaningless, everything is meaningless. Not because wealth itself is meaningless, but because wealth without purpose is meaningless. Money without mission is merely accumulation. Resources without reason for being become a burden rather than a blessing. I had gained the whole world but had forgotten why the world was worth gaining. The law of purpose and financial destiny teaches that lasting wealth flows from clarity about why you want wealth, not just how much wealth you want. Your financial destiny is not determined by your earning potential or your investment strategy. It is determined by the size of the problem you are called to solve, the depth of the impact you are meant to make, the scope of the service you are designed to provide. When you align your financial goals with your life purpose, money stops being something you chase and becomes something that chases you. Purpose is the magnetic force that attracts resources. When you are crystal clear about why you exist, what unique contribution you are meant to make, and how money serves that contribution, the universe begins organizing itself to support your mission. People who could help you suddenly appear in your life. Opportunities that align with your purpose become visible. Resources that seemed scarce begin to flow more freely. This is not mystical thinking, it is practical reality. Clarity of purpose creates clarity of action, and clarity of action generates results. But most people have never seriously examined their purpose. They have accepted default purposes handed to them by society, family expectations, or cultural programming. They pursue success because success is valued, wealth because wealth is admired, recognition because recognition feels good. They are living someone else's definition of a meaningful life rather than discovering and pursuing their own unique calling. Your true purpose is not what you think you should do or what others expect you to do. It is what you cannot help but do, what you feel compelled to do, what makes you feel most alive and most useful. It is the intersection of your deepest passions, your unique abilities, and the world's greatest needs. It is where what you love, what you are good at, and what the world needs overlap in your particular life. When I was young, I could have pursued many different paths. I could have focused on military conquest like many kings, on personal pleasure like wealthy rulers, or on building monuments to my own glory like powerful leaders. But my true purpose was revealed in the choice I made when God offered to grant any request. I asked for wisdom to govern well. That request revealed what mattered most to me, serving others effectively. Everything else flowed from that core purpose. Once I understood that my purpose was to be a wise servant leader, financial abundance became a natural byproduct rather than a primary goal. The wisdom I developed to serve my people better also enabled me to make better business decisions. The justice I pursued for my kingdom also attracted international trade and partnerships. The reputation I built for wise leadership also brought tribute and wealth from other nations. Money followed purpose, not the other way around. This principle operates in every area of life and every level of wealth building. The entrepreneurs who build lasting businesses are those who start with a clear sense of what problem they want to solve, not just what profit they want to make. The investors who achieve sustainable returns are those who understand what kind of world their investments are creating, not just what kind of returns they are generating. The professionals who advance most rapidly are those who focus on what value they can add, not just what salary they can command. When your financial goals are aligned with your life purpose, work stops feeling like work and starts feeling like mission. You wake up energized rather than exhausted because you are pursuing something that matters to you deeply. You make sacrifices without resentment because you understand what those sacrifices serve. You persist through difficulties with determination because you know that your purpose is worth the price you are paying to fulfill it. But purpose alignment also transforms your relationship with money itself. Instead of seeking wealth to satisfy your ego, you pursue it to expand your impact. Instead of accumulating resources for security, you gather them for service. Instead of building wealth to impress others, you develop it to improve others' lives. Money becomes a tool for purpose rather than a substitute for purpose. This shift changes everything about how you approach wealth building. You choose opportunities based not just on their potential profitability, but on their alignment with your mission. You build relationships not just for networking benefits, but for mutual purpose advancement. You make financial decisions not just for personal gain, but for positive impact. You invest time and energy not just in what will make you money, but in what will make your life meaningful. The practical application of this law begins with deep self-examination. You must invest serious time and energy in discovering your authentic purpose, not the purpose you think you should have, but the purpose that actually drives you. What problems make you angry enough to want to solve them? What injustices motivate you to fight against them? What possibilities excite you enough to work toward them? What activities make you lose track of time because you are so engaged in them? Write down your answers to these questions. Look for patterns, themes, and connections. Talk to people who know you well about what they see as your unique strengths and natural inclinations. Pay attention to what others consistently ask for your help with, what compliments you receive regularly, what accomplishments give you the deepest satisfaction. Once you have clarity about your purpose, begin aligning your financial goals with it. Instead of setting arbitrary income targets, determine how much money you need to fulfill your mission effectively. Instead of pursuing any opportunity that might be profitable, focus on opportunities that advance your purpose while generating necessary resources. Instead of networking randomly, build relationships with people who share your values and complement your mission. Create what I call a purpose-profit statement. This is different from a traditional financial plan because it integrates meaning with money, mission with resources, impact with income. It articulates not just what you want to earn, but why you want to earn it. Not just what you want to accomplish financially, but what you want to accomplish through your finances. Most importantly, be patient with this process. Purpose-driven wealth building often takes longer initially because you are being more selective about opportunities, but it ultimately generates deeper satisfaction and more sustainable results. You are building something that matters to you personally, rather than just something that looks impressive to others. Remember that your financial destiny is not separate from your life destiny. The wealth you build should be an expression of who you are meant to be and what you are meant to contribute. When money serves purpose rather than replacing it, you discover that true financial success is not about having enough money to do whatever you want, but about having enough money to do what you are called to do with excellence and impact. Number 9, the seed metaphor. You want to see the fruit, but you doubt the seed. You demand visible proof of growth while the most important development is happening underground, invisible to your eyes but essential to your future. You judge your progress by external measurements while the real transformation is occurring internally, in places you cannot see, at depths you cannot measure. through processes you cannot control but must learn to trust. You are living in the harvest mentality while still in the planting season, and this misalignment between your expectations and your reality is the source of your frustration, your doubt, and your temptation to abandon the very process that will eventually produce everything you desire. I am Solomon, and I have learned that every great fortune, every lasting legacy, every meaningful contribution begins as a seed. Small, seemingly insignificant, buried in darkness, showing no immediate evidence of its tremendous potential. The gold that filled my treasuries was once seed capital invested wisely and patiently. The wisdom that made my name legendary was once seed thoughts planted in seasons of study and reflection. The relationships that sustained my kingdom were once seed connections nurtured through years of authentic service and mutual respect. The seed metaphor reveals the most profound truth about wealth building. The most valuable part of any process is the part you cannot see. Just as a seed must die to its original form in order to become a tree, you must be willing to die to your current limitations, your small thinking, your comfort with mediocrity, in order to become the person capable of creating and sustaining the wealth you desire. The seed does not struggle against the darkness of the soil. It uses that darkness as the perfect environment for the miracle of transformation. Your current circumstances, no matter how challenging or discouraging they may seem, are the soil in which your financial future is germinating. Every skill you are developing, every relationship you are building, every lesson you are learning, every character quality you are strengthening, these are all part of the underground growth that will eventually produce visible results far greater than what anyone observing your current situation could possibly imagine. But here is what most people miss about the seed principle. The seed already contains everything necessary for the full-grown tree. The mighty oak is not added to the acorn from the outside. It is already present within the acorn, waiting for the right conditions to emerge and express itself. In the same way, the wealth you seek is not something foreign to you that must be acquired from external sources. It is already present within you in seed form, waiting for the right conditions to germinate, grow, and manifest. Those right conditions include faith in the process even when you cannot see immediate results, patience with timing even when everything in you wants to rush, consistent action even when progress seems invisible, and trust in your own potential even when others doubt what you are capable of achieving. The seed does not question whether it has what it takes to become a tree. It simply begins the process of becoming what it already is in potential. I learned this lesson through my own journey from young prince to wise king to wealthy ruler. There were years when my preparation seemed pointless, when my studies appeared irrelevant to my future responsibilities, when my character development felt disconnected from my ultimate destiny. I was tempted many times to abandon the internal work and seek shortcuts to external success. But something deeper than my impatience kept me faithful to the process of growth that was happening beneath the surface of my visible life. When I finally became king and asked God for wisdom rather than riches, I was not making a sacrifice. I was simply expressing what had already been growing in me through years of preparation. The wisdom I requested was the natural flowering of seeds that had been planted in my mind and heart through seasons of study, reflection, and character formation. The wealth that followed was not a reward for a good choice. It was the inevitable fruit of wisdom, applied to the practical challenges of leadership and governance. This is how the seed principle operates in every area of wealth building. The successful business is not built overnight. It grows from seed ideas that are nurtured through months or years of research, planning, testing, and refinement. The investment portfolio that generates lasting wealth is not created through a single brilliant transaction. It develops from seed investments made consistently over time, allowing compound growth to work its magic. The professional reputation that commands premium fees is not established through one impressive performance. It emerges from seed actions of competence and integrity, repeated in small matters, until they become recognized patterns of excellence. The tragedy is that most people kill their seeds before they have time to germinate. They plant an idea on Monday and expect visible results by Friday. They make an investment and become anxious if it does not show profits within months. They begin building a skill and abandon it if they do not see rapid improvement. They start developing a relationship and give up if immediate benefits do not materialize. They are gardeners with no patience for the growing season, farmers who dig up their crops to check on the roots. But those who understand the seed principle develop what I call cultivation patience. They know that the most important work is often the least visible work. They trust the process even when they cannot see the progress. They continue watering, weeding, and tending their financial seeds, even when there is no evidence above ground that anything is happening. They understand that germination happens in darkness and silence before it happens in light and celebration. The practical application of the seed metaphor requires a fundamental shift in how you evaluate your progress and measure your success. Instead of judging everything by immediate visible results, you learn to recognize the signs of underground growth. Instead of becoming discouraged by the apparent slowness of your progress, you celebrate the consistency of your efforts. Instead of comparing your beginning to others' endings, you focus on nurturing your own seeds through whatever season they are currently experiencing. Start by identifying the seeds you have already planted. What skills are you developing that have not yet reached their full potential? What relationships are you building that have not yet produced their ultimate benefits? What investments of time, energy, or money are you making that have not yet yielded their final returns? What character qualities are you strengthening that have not yet been fully tested or recognized? These seeds are already germinating, even if you cannot see evidence of their growth yet. Next, commit to seed-level activities rather than fruit-level expectations. Focus on doing the small, consistent things that create the conditions for growth rather than demanding immediate large results. Water your seeds through daily disciplines, learning, practice, and relationship building. Protect your seeds from the weeds of doubt, distraction, and discouragement that would choke out their potential. Fertilize your seeds through continuing education, mentorship, and exposure to people and ideas that challenge you to grow. Most importantly, develop seed-level faith. This is the confidence that what you cannot see is more powerful than what you can see, that what is happening internally is more significant than what is apparent externally, that the process of becoming is more important than the pressure to achieve. Seed-level faith allows you to work patiently in obscurity, knowing that visibility is not the goal but the byproduct. It enables you to invest in long-term growth rather than demanding short-term gratification. The seed metaphor teaches that you are not lacking anything essential for the wealth you desire to create. The capacity is already within you, waiting for the right conditions to emerge. Your job is not to create that capacity from nothing, but to cultivate the conditions that allow it to express itself fully. You are not trying to become someone completely different. You are allowing someone who already exists within you to fully emerge. The gold you seek is not buried in some distant treasure chest. It is buried in the seed of your own unrealized potential, waiting for you to provide the faith, patience, consistency, and cultivation it needs to transform from invisible possibility into visible reality. Stop looking outside yourself for what can only grow from inside yourself, and start tending the seeds that will eventually produce the harvest of abundance you have been dreaming about all along. You stand now at the threshold between who you have been and who you are becoming. These 7 laws are not theories to be understood, but territories to be entered, not concepts to be grasped, but realities to be lived. Each law is a doorway, and you have been given the keys. but keys are worthless in the hands of those who lack the courage to turn them. The person you were when this journey began no longer exists. That person believed wealth was about accumulation. That person thought success was about competition. That person imagined that financial freedom meant independence from everything, including the very principles that create lasting abundance. But transformation has already begun working in you, even if you cannot yet see its full expression. There is an ancient story of a master sculptor who was asked how he created such magnificent works from rough stone. His answer was profound in its simplicity. "I do not create anything. I simply remove everything that is not already there." The masterpiece already existed within the marble. His job was not to add to the stone, but to reveal what the stone had always contained. The wealth you seek has always been within you, waiting not to be created but to be revealed. These laws do not give you something foreign to your nature. They remove the false beliefs, the limiting patterns, the scarcity consciousness that has been covering the abundance that is your true identity. This is not the end of understanding, but the beginning of embodiment. Every choice you make from this moment forward will either carve away more of what is not truly you, or add layers that hide who you really are. Every financial decision becomes a sculptor's strike, either revealing more of your authentic abundance or concealing it further behind the debris of unconscious living. If these truths have stirred something deep within you, if you sense that this journey is far from over, then join this community of those who are committed to walking the ancient paths that lead to modern prosperity. Subscribe not as an observer, but as a participant in the greatest transformation available to any human soul: the awakening from financial scarcity into the fullness of purpose-driven abundance. The gold you have been seeking was never buried in some distant field. It has been buried in you, waiting for this moment of recognition, this choice to begin the excavation of your own limitless potential.